like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notifications to get all of my content, all of my videos. Um, let's talk about the Warriors. I was talking about them last night, and I'm gonna continue to talk about them today. Man, what is this on the seat, man? Um, Now last night the Warriors defeated Houston H-Town Rockets. That was a pretty good test for them. Um, especially going into the All Star break, the Warriors needed this win. Now they can build on this momentum. If I'm Curry, if I'm Kaminga, if I'm all of the Warriors right now, I'm ready to get this All Star break over with. Hurry up, heal, get some rest, and then go ahead and get come with some more momentum because their goal right now is to be in the sixth spot. That's what their goal is right now. What's up with it, Alex? I see you in the building. That's what their overall goal is. And I like that, man, because a lot of people doubted Jimmy coming into this situation. Everybody was like, some of the Warriors fans were mad that Jimmy Butler was on there, and I kept telling people, that guy, man, he is that dude. No, he hasn't won a championship, but he has a he got a championship mindset. Um, and on top of that, you look at how Jimmy. Please hit that like. Whoever's in here, hit that like, man. It's free. It doesn't cost any money. All you gotta do is double tap the screen. um, the thing about Jimmy, man, that people aren't realizing is that when you have a guy, man, that's able to not only play multiple positions, but also play both ends of the floor, that guy is dangerous. And it don't take a rocket science to figure that out. I mean, Jimmy Butler, he can play the two. He can hell, Jimmy Butler has there's been times when he brought the ball up. With Miami, he's had to bring the ball up. He played point guard. And I'm not saying on a consistent basis or anything. Ted, what's up with it? Yeah, didn't say you did, man, but a lot of other people did. There was all these other people saying that Jimmy should retire. He gonna be out of the league, and he doesn't have nothing left in the tank, and he's and I mean he only scored 19 points, but he's averaging like 21 or something like that. But I like this comeback and everything, and the fact that they are 3-1 going into the All Star break, they can build on that momentum. Listen, man, Jimmy was going to experience this. You had a lot of people that ride you off. See, look, in life, there are going to be people that'll ride you off. Like when you're not that successful at first, a lot of people not going to want to be around you. See, a lot of people were sitting there, they were talking shit about him. They were saying he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that. Uh, Guess what happens when you win? It cures everything. Now you don't hear that many people. Now they want to praise him. You had the media even jumping on him and stuff. You say you need to change the scenery. Yeah, of course. They caught him washed up. Yeah, no, and like I said on this channel, I'm just gonna let everybody say what they need to say. Now I didn't agree with some of the things that Jimmy did. I didn't like the fact that he was spotted at prime 112 and doing stuff like that, or like all the hair and stuff like that. Man, I didn't particularly agree with that. But Pat Riley, everybody was sitting here saying, Pat Riley was in the ride and all this other stuff. I got to give a little bit of props to Pat Riley, just a little bit, because I mean he did do a deal with the Warriors. Now maybe Pat Riley's mindset was like, okay, he didn't really see the Warriors going anywhere, but they had to remember they had Kuminga, Jonathan Kuminga coming back. That's another guy that I talked about last night. Everybody sat up there and said that, Jonathan Kuminga, he's not this, he's not that. Man, Jonathan Kuminga, if he works really, really hard, man, he could eventually be an all-star. And I'm not trying to get him up there yet to quite a superstar, but Jonathan Kuminga got talent, man. Now, is he gonna be on the level of Steph Curry? Because we gotta look forward to the future. Like I said yesterday, Curry and now Jimmy and Draymond, them guys got a two-year window. They got about a 2 year. Really, Curry got a 1 to 2 year window, because Curry is about to be 37 years old. He's gonna be 39, and I don't see Steph Curry playing that long. You know what I'm saying? Draymond, with the injuries that he's sustained over a period of time, he's about to be 35, if I'm not mistaken. And then Jimmy Butler, he's 36. Cypress, what's up with it? Hey, what's up, Kathy? He should keep problems off of social media. Yeah, that's true. Steph told Warriors to not trade Kuminga. Of course not. Why would you do that? Why would you trade Kuminga, who's gonna be there? Kuminga got another good, what I would say, 10 to 15 years in the league. K Dizzle, what's going down? I mean, it would be silly, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, he's not gonna move a needle." Jimmy doesn't have to do that much. Jimmy doesn't really have to. He really doesn't have to be that scorer now. Now you have other guys, you have other weapons on that team that you have to worry about. I wanted to see them against H-Town and see how they panned out and how they played against it. That's the thing. All these trades that happen, I want to see how these guys, like the Luka and the LeBrons, like the Jimmy, the Draymond, and the Currys, like the, even to a lesser extent, DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine and Sabonis and all of those guys over there. I want to see how they stack up towards these upper echelon teams, because the playoffs after the All-Star break, this is when the season starts, man. This is really when the season starts. Everybody that hasn't been taking all these teams serious and stuff like that, they're going to amp up in the playoffs, and it's going to be quite a few surprises. It's going to be you said Jimmy Butler cost me some bread last night. He still won the game. He still won the game, though. Yeah, now everybody wants to admit it, man. In the beginning, man, they went on a Jimmy smear campaign. Everybody on the mainstream media and social media was calling Jimmy everything but a child of God. They were saying that this guy was a problem child, and he was a cancer to the locker room, and all he does is get injured. You know what I'm saying? They were saying that on that's what Shannon Sharp was saying. Yeah, you haven't played and all this other stuff. All you got to do, man, is just shut him up. You know what I'm saying? By with your play, and I'm happy that he's doing that. Not necessarily. What's up, Shyam? I see you in the building. Now we got the Warriors fans. The Warriors fans, man, coming out now, man. They coming out of the woodwork now. I know y'all were a little worried about Jimmy, man, but like I told you, man, Jimmy may be that missing piece. If they get to that sixth spot, if they get to that sweet spot, they could do some damage. Now, I'm not ready. I gotta see them. I gotta see them against Denver. First let's talk about Denver first. Let's talk about Denver first before we even get to OKC and Memphis, all these other guys. Now they beat H Town. H Town is a good team. I mean, H Town what, fourth or something like that, I think. Neither am I. You read my mind. Yeah, but you got to understand that they're panning well with what they got now. I'm trying to give a good example. Now they do got Looney. They got Looney, but I would say like in that 22 championship, they really didn't have that much size. If you really go back and you go look at when they won that last championship, they really didn't have that much size. But over the previous championships that they had, they did have size. Like when you talk about the 18, back in the days when they, of course, the two-peat with Durant, and then that first championship, they always had a decent front line that was beefed up in their defense. Now they do got to step it up on their defense, and they're above 500. They're above 500. I think 28 and 27 right now. This is good momentum after to build on before the break, and then going in after the break, because that's when the real season starts. I've never been worried about Jimmy though. That was the media trying to put that in your head, man. You can't let the media be the driving force to what you think about a player. You might like a player and you think he's talent. He has a lot of talent and stuff, but because the media puts all this perception on a particular player, then that's going to drive your perception to think, oh, okay, well maybe Jimmy isn't that good anymore. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't this or he isn't that. And really, if you really want to look at it on the surface, Jimmy hasn't really played a lot of basketball. This guy is, he had his injuries. Then on top of that, he had the suspension. He hasn't played a lot of basketball, so he's got a lot of basketball to get out of his system. You said four. I think they can. I'm looking at six right now. I'm trying to take them one step at a time. I mean, some of y'all might think like, oh yeah, you're a Warriors fan and stuff like that. That's not what it is. I want to see, because they put so much doubt in it, and I like to see these guys come back. I like to see how they're gonna respond to it. The Warriors have always went through turmoil. That's the thing. In 22, like nobody was banking on the Warriors winning the championship. You said the Warriors can deal with OKC, Memphis in the 7 game series. We actually match up better than them. We have a team like LA Clippers, Dallas. I got to see that. Cheyenne, it looks and it sounds good, but we still got to see, man. When you talk about OKC, you're talking about a Chet Holmgren who is 7'1". You're talking about Harkison. You're talking about young athletic guys, young athletic guards. Nobody's going to be able to just straight up shut down SGA like that. The Clippers, maybe so. If I got a chance to see Ben Simmons a little bit last night or whatever. Ben Simmons can actually make the Clippers somewhat competitive. Denver, um, you got to worry about Jokic. You got to worry about Westbrook's energy off the bench. Jamal Murray has been on fire lately. I think he had like 55 a couple nights ago. So you got to worry about them, and of course the obvious like the Gordons and now Bayon, and you got to worry about Michael Porter Jr. Now Denver still has their size or whatever. So as far as the Lakers, yeah, I don't see them having any type of continuity or anything like that. But OKC would be the worry. Memphis, uh, I would like to see y'all against Memphis. I would have to see y'all against Memphis. Um, Dallas, Dallas is just riddled with injuries. But if Dallas had all of their bigs in, then that would be a problem because then you got to ask who's gonna stop AD, who's gonna stop Lively, who's gonna stop Gafford. But those guys are gone. I like what Max Christie was doing though. I like how he played yesterday though. Said Houston Rockets can do some damage in the playoff. They could, man, but like I said, man, and they beat some good teams. They beat some good teams, but the games do slow down. OKC has been in this position before. They've been in a higher position before, and they're looking to get their revenge from last season. So I don't want to sit up here, man, and get ahead of myself to say that the Warriors are going to beat all of those teams. I have to see them a little bit. I mean, hell, we got to see if they could beat some of the other lower teams too. Like, can you beat, like the Sacramento? Can you beat the San Antonio teams like that? Because those teams right there, they're fighting for something. Those teams right there, they're fighting for something. But I'm just glad that Jimmy is back, man. Now we could get back to the old Jimmy. I like how he plays with Draymond Green, at least for right now. These guys are gonna have disagreements, man. Like no team is perfect, no situation is perfect. It might be a disagreement here and there, but let's just hope it doesn't get out of hand, uh, and turn into a situation where it did like when KD was there. We don't want that type of situation happening. At least I don't. I do not want to see that situation happening at all. And I think here's the thing that I was really worried about, and this is gonna shock some people. I wasn't worried about him having good chemistry with Curry. I wasn't uh, worried about him having good chemistry with Draymond. I was more worried about him having good chemistry with Steve Kerr in terms of buying in what Steve Kerr was selling. Because Steve Kerr, although Steve Kerr, he comes off like he gets along with all of his players. Let's not forget, man, Steve Kerr has had a history of rubbing his players the wrong way, man. So that's what was my concern. I wasn't worried about Jimmy like everybody else. Everybody thought that him and Draymond was gonna bump heads or anything like that. I wasn't worried about that because Draymond has played with alphas before. Draymond has played with alphas before. When DeMarcus Cousins came over there, man, it was like he fit perfectly. They just didn't get over the hump. And plus, DeMarcus Cousins had got hurt. But all the Jimmy doubt, everybody was coming out here. They were saying, "Oh yeah, Jimmy's not going to be successful." I want to see how people going to react if they want a championship. That's what would trip me out. If they fucked around and won a championship, what would people have to say then? But here's my thing. Why is everybody surprised? This is what Jimmy does, man. This is what he does, man. This is you surround him with a good team. You know, he's able to play with future Hall of Famers, and Jimmy Butler's going to be a Hall of Famer himself. Now you're really cooking with grease. Hold on 1 minute, y'all. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, that's But yeah, Jimmy is he gonna be fine over there, man. Um, he's gonna be fine over there. And the worst thing that you could do is doubt a guy that has a lot to prove, man. That's the worst thing that you could do. And that's what plenty of these guys been doing, man. I'm trying to think of all the guys that were really doubting Jimmy Butler. Like I know Stephen A. Smith was one of them. You know, he was talking from a standpoint of Jimmy Butler not moving the needle so much. He said they'll be competitive and stuff like that, but he doesn't see them like making no noise in the playoffs and all that other stuff. And this is another thing too. As far as the size, they don't need to be like all that big because this is an example right here. When I looked at Dallas when Dallas played, um, I think it was Minnesota. Everybody was under the assumption that Minnesota, because they had so much size, that Minnesota was going to come in there and just beat the brakes off of Dallas. And look what ended up happening. Look what ended up happening. So that's why, like, I don't sit here and I don't make size so big of a deal. That you know it's gonna deter them from being successful, because that's not gonna happen, man. You know, the Warriors, you have to worry about three different guys right now. Well, actually, you got to worry about four different guys because there'll be some times when Draymond is hitting. Actually, five guys. You got to worry about five different guys right now. You know what I'm saying? That it's in terms of collapsing on them. So I want the Warriors, man, to hit that sixth spot because this is going to get really interesting. I'm not even worried. To be honest with you, I'm not worried about no All-Star game. For real, man. I'm not worried about the All-Star game. I could care less about the format. Um, I do want to see how Vassell is going to do. Or, no, Castle. I want to see how he's going to do in the slam dunk contest. But I'm not worried about the All-Star game, man. I'm not even worried about it. I'm not even amped up about the All-Star game. I used to be really amped up about the All-Star game. I'm just not excited about it, man. Like I once used to be. Like when you were younger, you wanted to see you braced yourself on that Sunday, man. Like after that Saturday night, you know what I'm saying, that slam dunk contest and everything. Then, right Sunday, man, it was on and cracking. And I don't feel that way no more. Not about the All-Star game. I'm like, let's hurry up. I'm really like, let's hurry up and let's get this break over with so that we can go ahead and get back to the normal season. Matter of fact, I don't even want no break. I don't even want no All-Star break. Hold on 1 minute. I don't even want no All-Star break. That's how that's how bad it's been over the last couple of years. Now, if I see, like, if I get the hint that it's somewhat competitive, maybe, you know what I'm saying, like, but I just don't know, man. They done let me down. Like, one year, man, I was just like, you know what? Yeah, let me go ahead. Let me look at it. Let me see how it's gonna be and stuff. And then next thing you know, man, I start looking at I look at like the first quarter and everything, and I'm like, okay, this is all it's gonna be. Like, I don't wanna go into the All-Star game like that. Guys, at least like I would say like in the like the 2000s and the 2000s and the previous times, these guys would actually challenge each other, even when they were like just playing around, fucking around. They would at least challenge each other. These guys don't even want to challenge each other. These guys do not want to challenge each other, man. They don't want to, they don't want to go at each other. Now they'll go at each other when it comes to Well, it would be mainly like in the second half or something like that, But I'm talking about from jump start. Like I wanted to see uh, Isaiah Thomas go at Magic. I wanted to see Larry Bird go at Dominique Wilkins. I wanted to see, you wanted to see, um, Clyde Drexler or maybe somebody like Mitch Richmond go at Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And here's the kicker. A lot of times, man, I mean, Jordan would be doing his thing, but there would be plenty of other guys, man, that would be doing their things besides Jordan. Hold on a sec. Yeah, so, um, man, don't tell me this shit is happening. But yeah, shout out to the Warriors, man. Shout out to the Warriors, man, for sticking it through. You had a lot of doubters. It's going to be people that are going to continue to doubt, um, and this is going to be quite interesting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see them against some of the bigger teams, like I said, or the better teams. I even want to see them against some of the teams in the Eastern Conference. The West, don't get me wrong, we're concerned about teams in the West and everything, but I would like to see them because just in case they happen to do the unthinkable and get to the finals. I know looking at it now, everybody's like, nah, 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 but anything can happen in the game of basketball. Anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. So, yeah, man. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna roll out, man. Uh, Make sure y'all hit that like button. Sub to the channel too. Shout out to the whole entire LDBC basketball boxing community. Until then, man, I'm out.